TJ the Wheel Deal coming at you live. It is Wednesday, July the 2nd, 10:56 a.m. Central Time, Texas time. I've got the TV on in the background there to make sure that I'm sharing the right screen. But anyway, let me look at my Calendly today to see how much time I got. I got first base times at 11:30. So I got 30 minutes, guys. 30 minutes. So we're going to get on to it. We only got 3 FaceTimes today. I'm going to knock those out. So anyway, let's get into it, guys. I'm TJ the Wheel Deal. I sell puts. I sell calls for a living. I roll when it makes dollars and cents. And I have a knack for buying the timely lead. And I am pretty much the only one on YouTube or Twitter or X that is willing to sell options live. You know, there's people talking about transparency. Shut the fuck up with all that stuff with transparency when it comes to me. It's offensive. I'm the only trader. You can just do your little screenshot, do your other bullshit, doctor it up, whatever you want to do. However you want to package the bullshit and sell it to your people, that's one thing. I trade the account live. So there's no manipulation. It is what it is. I win, I lose. It is what it is. I don't have an agenda. I'm not trying to sell you shit. I'm not trying to sell you shit. It's irrelevant to me. I have this channel for my son so that my son will know how to sell put, sell calls, collect premium, roll when it makes dollars and cents. You guys happen to be the beneficiaries of that. That's it. That's the agenda. That's the agenda, is so that my son has a roadmap to go make millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars for the rest of his life. That is the agenda, if you will. Now I have this little FaceTime package or whatever, but you don't actively see me pimping that out either, because quite frankly, I'm trying to end it. I don't even want to do the FaceTimes anymore, only for the people that I already have. But trying to take on you people's FaceTimes, not interested. It doesn't pay me any money. It takes up a lot of my time, and I'm happy with the relationships that I've already established. So you've already missed the boat on the FaceTimes. I ain't pimping that either. So I literally don't have an agenda aside from documenting the journey for my son, Jeremiah. That's it. Let's get into it. So I don't want to hear any bullshit about transparency, because I'm in there and I'll troll your ass. I'm like, shut up with your transparency bullshit. Go sell options live. Go wheel live. Go do whatever you want to do. Do it live and in color, and then I'll believe that you're transparent. Other than that, you're kind of transparent. You're kind of transparent, you know, because you'll choose when to show those screenshots. So shut the fuck up, Carlson, Leonidas, all you fucks. Shut up already. So anyway, let's get into it. So what do we got here? We're going to go present. We're going to, I think I already got it set up, actually. I got a lot of time, so I'm going to get into it. We've got some pretty difficult decisions today, guys. Pretty difficult decisions today. How's the portfolio looking? I'm looking at it with you guys, because I was out running an errand this morning. So what do we got? We got P&L for the day. We're going to start from the top. I like to order the account so we can rock with it. So we'll go 01, 33. We'll skip 60. That's the big account. And then we'll go 20, 47. 47 is the small account, my son's account. And then we'll end on 60. So let's start with 01. So how's this one looking? So the first thing that I look at whenever I open an account is I look at the little yellow boxes. They say ITM in the money. That's like it's like you're driving, right? You got green light, you got red light, yellow light, and you got the red light. So greens go, red stop, yellow's caution. So anytime I see anything in the money, that's caution. So my eye's going to go to the caution. So what am I looking at? Amazon. So what is it? So there's 1,000 shares there. So it tells me it's a covered strangle. And I see an agreement to buy more shares, 1,000 more shares at 210. And I've got an agreement to sell the shares that we got at 220. So that's in the money. So that's a little bit of a problem. So now I got to look at, well, how serious is it? So how do I determine how serious it is? Is how deep is it in the money? And how much time do we have on the clock? What's the expiration date? So I look here and it's 44 days out. So I'm like, there's not a whole lot to do. There's not a whole lot to do. And I go all the way to the right and I start looking at all the metrics. What's the extrinsic value? There's 16,000. I start looking at the theta. I'm trying to find the theta. So right after the cap requirements on the right-hand side, you're going to see this little circle with the line in the middle, the little oval with the line in the middle, and that's your theta. That's all things remaining equal. How much theta are you collecting on a daily basis? And I'm like, well, that's, 231 bucks a day. So that's not bad. So I'm like, I don't think I got to do anything right now. I don't think I got to do anything. I don't have to overmanage that. Let's look at CleanSpark. There's 3,000 shares owned, and there's an agreement to sell 2,500 of those shares at 12 bucks. So those are obviously in the money by 23 cents. On Amazon, the cover calls are in the money by $1.16. So it's kind of a nothing burger. And so is this one. Now, the one thing that I can consider doing is if I feel like CleanSpark is going to keep going up, but I don't want to just roll out up and just keep rolling and rolling and rolling and losing all the liquidity along the way. What I could do is, if I'm convinced that that's going to happen, is I could look to increase the strike price of the cash put or the short put in this case. So that's one thing that I could look to do, is I could look to roll this up from 10 to 11 and bring in a little bit of more money. I could be like, bring in 800 bucks. That's something that's worth doing. Let's ring the cash register. So what does that do? It gives us another $800 of upside, if you will, but it also increases our downside. Now, here's the thing. This is the litmus test, guys. Teaching segment, and I'm only going to do a couple of these positions per account because I had to get rocking and rolling because I got the call with Bobby at 11:30. If you're not willing to increase your strike price up on the put, then that's your brain telling you that you're not that worried about the covered call. Relax. Because in actuality, I should be willing to increase the strike price of the put all the way up to 12. Because if I'm that damn worried about losing my shares at 12, I should be willing to buy them right back at 12. That makes sense. That's your litmus test. So a lot of people will be like, how do I do that? Well, then you ain't that worried about the covered call. Just a pro tip for you guys. Let's keep it going. In phase, strike 40, 45. This is short strangle, nothing owned there. Short strangle on NVIDIA, way down the road, 130, 165. It looks like the 165s could potentially get challenged, but there's room there. There's room there. At some point, NVIDIA's going to chill out, and I can always increase the strikes on the 130 on the puts, but 140, 150, use that premium to offset the premium that I would have to give back, use those credits to finance the debits so that you can just kind of do a construction project on your highway. This is just a little highway right here, and it's 25 wide. I like the chances there. Palantir, this one's pretty easy money, 120, 150, 160, already up $53,000 on these short strings. Let's look at the order chain. How many rolls is that? 4 rolls. Not bad. That is just absolutely picture perfect. Absolutely picture perfect. PayPal, another short strangle, 67.50, 82.50. That one's a little closer for comfort. I like to widen it up a little bit. Not so much on the put, but on the call. I'd be more comfortable at 85, be more comfortable at 90. But as we do the rolls, this is when you look at the order chain, there's only one roll. We get 3 or 4 or 5 rolls the way that we are with Palantir. We do that with PayPal, and you can start really doing the construction project the way that you want. Riot, the covered strangle. We got the 2,500 shares, up a little bit on the shares. Got an agreement to buy 2,500 more shares at 11, and I got the shares to sell at 11. So we're already turned it into a short straddle, if you will, there. So yeah, I think it's pretty decent. TSOL, 11 and 20, short strangle, nothing burger. So there's nothing to see there. Let's look at account ending in 33. What's going on? We have 2 positions. We got a short strangle on in phase, 35.45. Pretty easy money. Just kind of waiting for time to run off the clock there, collecting data. I'm looking over here, $488 of data. So, and a month or so, there's 44 days. So I see like just with data alone, all things remaining equal, in about 2 or 3 weeks, we'll be positive on that position if in phase kind of stays in this particular range just by collecting the data. Then we got TSLL. This is a covered strangle. We got 14,000 shares, up a little bit on the actual shares. And we got an agreement to buy 14,000 more shares at 12 bucks, and an agreement to sell the shares that we got at 79 days out. Now, the one thing we got to look at is, do we got the cash to handle this? $316,000, I'd say so. I think it's going to be okay. It's very, very concentrated in this position in TSLL, but that's the way that we wanted it. So let's keep it going. Account ending in 20, up 7,900, positive year to date. So that part's looking good. So let's just keep looking. Is there anything that draws my attention? Let's look at the end of monies. Riot, what's going on? Again, 5,000 shares. It's a covered strangle. So when it's a covered strangle, you don't have any risk to the upside. You're capping your upside. You don't have an unlimited risk to the upside because you're already covered. You already own the shares. It's awesome. Got the agreement to sell the shares at 11, got an agreement to buy more shares at 11. So that's all that we can do with that position right now. That's all that we're willing to do. Now, instead of rolling the covered call out and out, whenever you're adequately capitalized, what you can play the game is roll your cash secure put up and up and up. That way you maintain liquidity, you maintain control of your bankroll. But again, this is whenever you're you're playing too small, you got all your eggs in one basket, you're forced to roll out and up, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh shit, I'm in 2027 or whatever. I used to do all that stuff too. But once I realized that I was adequately capitalized, I could treat this like a brand new position. I'm like, okay, I'm selling the cash secure puts at 11. It goes up to like 13 or 14. Well, let me increase the strike price from 11 to 12, bring in more money, 12 to 13, and keep following the stock that way via my cash secured puts. And then I could choose to let the shares get called away to 11. Who gives a shit? Live and fight another day. If I feel that damn good about it still, well, then I could just double the amount of contracts that I'm selling cash secured puts on, and I continue to ring the cash register, but I don't have to keep rolling and rolling and rolling and rolling. That makes sense on the cover call side. SoFi, what's going on with SoFi? This is a little bit more complicated. There are short calls at 21 bucks for December. Then we've got puts that were sold in the distance at 16. And these are actually started at like 11. And I kept increasing the strike price as SoFi started pumping. And then there's leaps that are absolutely crushing it, up 246%. So that part is doing really, really well. And then we got TSLL. It appears to be a covered strangle, 10-18, 79 days out. Kind of a nothing burger right now. Don't have to do anything. Let's look at the little account. Sun's account. You're going to see a short strangle there on end phase, 38 and 48, 16 days out. No more Riot. No more Riot. Locked in the win on Riot. So we go over here. We go over here to this guy here, and we're going to see the year to date, and you're going to see Riot. Boom. Realized gain, $15,666. and 09 cents. I rebuked that in the name of Jesus. It's 666. It just happened to work out. It is what it is. I lost some money on the leaps on SoFi early on. Rang the cash register on TSLL for 2,100. 80 bucks on Soxol. Lost $1,400 on CleanSpark. So that is how it all shook out on the little portfolio. The net liquidation value is like 82.6 or something like that. So now we got a brand new position, and we're trying to make $5,000 a month with this portfolio, short strangles, and in 4 short months, boom, we're at 100 grand. So we started with InSpace. It was just the one that presented the opportunity. The IV was high, very, very high. The IV rank at 67.4. So we're able to play for a potential volatility contraction. And what's the sweet spot trade? 38 on the low end, 48 on the high end. Playing very, very conservative on the high end because we don't own the shares yet. This is a short strangle. This is not a covered strangle. So when it's a short strangle, you have an unlimited risk to the upside. Make no mistake about it. You could blow up your account doing this, so be careful. So let's look at the cash situation. What do we got? We got $86,000 in cash. That's where you see the value of the account, right? I said the net liquid was like 82 and some change. When in actuality, the net liquid would theoretically be 86 and some change, but we have to wait for this to expire out of the money, because if you want to calculate what's your potential net your net liquidation value, is you just look at what is your extrinsic value of the open options. 42.7 plus the 82 and some change is going to give you the new cash value, which in this case is 86.9. So now if this expires out of the money, 16 days goes by, expires out of the money, you're already seeing what the net lick's going to be because there's no shares on 86.9. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to go from 86. On the next one, we're going to try to get to 90. On the next one after that, we're going to try to get to 95. On the next one after that, we're trying to get to 100. And we're playing small. We can play bigger. I can go make more money right now and get this thing to 90,000. But then you don't have enough money to cover if things get out of hand. And that's where you have to be able to control the demon of greed, right? It's one of the deadly sins. So we got to be smart. We got to make sure that if this thing starts going like 43, 44, instead of just playing a game called rolling and rolling and rolling, hell, let's just cover the position and get $3 or $4 of capital appreciation, let their shares get called away, get right back into cash, and boom, you're at $100,000 out. So you got to really control your sizing whenever you do these strangles. And you got to pick a stock that you're absolutely comfortable owning at that strike. So there's no risk to the downside here for us mentally, because give us those shares of Enphase at $38. We love to ride them back up to 45 or so. And boom, that's an easy way to get to $100,000 as well. So there's not a lot of risk to the downside here in our mind. I think the absolute bottom on Enphase is probably about $30 gun to head. I believe that $30 would be the absolute low end on Enphase. I think that's very, very manageable there. And I don't really see the right catalyst to get it to 48. So I'm going to go get that money on the short strength. The more responsible conservative thing is just sell the short puts and don't do anything. But I was like, no, trying to hit the income goal. So that's why I chose to run this naked strangle here, but with the money on hand, the cash on hand to cover at a moment's notice. So that's all that's going on with the portfolios. Now let's look at the big one, because there are some bigger decisions that I got to consider making here. And one is, do I lock in a win on these miners? So let's look at it. So we're just real quick, Amazon, short strangle, 210, 230, right in the sweet spot, nothing to do there, 44 days out. Clean sparks to cover the strangle. There's 100,000 shares owned, up $322,000 on the shares, guys. Give us a thumbs up on the chat. That's not bad. That's transparency. And then let's see what else we got. We got an agreement to buy 100,000 more shares at 11. We got an agreement to sell the 100,000 shares at 12. So those are obviously in the money by 27 cents. So it's like, oh shit, you're not really qualified for that 27 cents. But then you got to consider there's a trade price of 97. So that means that our break even is actually $12.97 whenever you account for the premium. So in actuality, we're not leaving any money on the table here yet. Plus, you got to also consider we're going to make all of the money on the cash secured puts. These are mutually exclusive, right? The $11 puts can't be in the money at the same time that the $12 calls are in the money. So that's why we don't really see the need to do anything. So you don't want to should be rolling and rolling and rolling. This is their teaching moment for you guys. Roll on purpose with a purpose. I don't have a purpose to roll right now. What? Just a little stressed out because it's in the money by 29 cents? I'm just looking at like, well, shit, I could just wait 44 days and lock in a pretty massive win on the shares. But then this becomes the contemplation. What if I just lock it in? What if I close this out and sell the shares and then just keep the cash secured puts or the short puts? And then I can maybe like even increase the contracts up to 2,000. And then you don't have any more drawdown on those shares, because I don't want to lose the money on those shares, because it's helping us approach the break even. And I'm up over $400,000 year to date on CleanSpark. It's the biggest winner on the books. That is something that I'm strongly considering. Same thing with Riot. 50,000 shares owned, got agreement to sell the shares at 15. And I got agreement to buy 50,000 more shares at 11. So I've already increased the strike price on the short puts. And then I'm looking, okay, well, how much money are we really leaving on the table? $94 was collected per contract. So the break even's $11.94 on the actual call. So we're only leaving, what is that? 16, 17 cents, 18 cents, something like that. It's not too bad. But then you got to consider, if these calls are going to be in the money, then that means that these puts are going to be out of the money. So you got to consider the 97 cents or the $97 a contract that was collected over here. So I'm like, again, does it make sense to go ahead and close this out and sell the shares simultaneously? That's what I want help with from you guys. Got 10 minutes and we're going to discuss that. Another thing that we got is we got our first short strangle that's officially in the money to the upside. This is the no bueno side. I'd rather a short strangle be in the money to the downside than to the upside. Here, you don't want to play because there's an unlimited risk to the upside. On the short side, it's not going to go to 0. It could go to 10, 11, 12 because it's already done that. So we already know kind of where the floor is on SOXL. So this is something where you got to roll early and often. You don't want to play with this thing, but luckily there is enough money here to cover. We can look at the cash, 16,349,000. I think we're going to be okay there. And it's, it's an agreement to buy 25,000 shares. So how can you handle this? One is you can obviously roll. One, right now I don't have to do anything because we're not that in the money. And if I had to cover, big deal. You buy them for 26, 21, you turn around and sell them for 26, you lose 23 cents a share. Kind of sucks, but it's not the end of the world. 25,000 shares. I could roll the puts up, and I've already done that. I could go from 22 to 24, 25 on the puts, use that money, the credits, to roll the 26 up to like 26.50, 27. Don't have to change the expiration date. So I'm just doing a construction project on the highway because right now the highway is 22 and 26. So I can make the highway 25, 27 and probably even pick up a couple of shekels along the way for doing that. So right now I'm going to choose to do nothing because I want to be able to talk about the clean spark and the riot. I want to look at the chat, see what you guys think. Tesla. Let's talk about Tesla real quick. Got a huge ass strangle on again, but I'm playing it a little bit differently. So I've got 500 on the puts, 400 contracts on the calls, 250, 500 wide. Feeling pretty damn good about it. And I've got 250 leads that are absolutely getting their asses kicked. A little recovery today. Tesla needs to go to like 360 to break even on those leaps. And I will consider getting rid of those leaps. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little bit more of a ratio, if you will. I'm going to have more puts than calls to offset the risk to the upside. And I also have the 50,000 shares of TSLL. It kind of helps out. That's the equivalent of about 4,000 shares of Tesla. So I'm not like really running naked over here as much as it seems. So anyway, this one's kind of on easy street right now. It's kind of on easy street. Not going to do anything to it. Not going to look to add. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to close this out. I'm going to see in the chat. See what you guys think. What do you guys think? Because I am really considering closing out the calls on Riot and Clean Spark and selling the shares and then just playing this thing via short put and increasing the strikes so I can lock in those wins. Let me see what the chat has to say. Acknowledge some of you guys in here. Appreciate Megan. Appreciate SJ. Appreciate Morning Shamu. What's going on? Appreciate that hood strangle, man. That's going to go down. It's like Pouncer. It's going to be one of my better trades. I really feel that one's going to work out. And I'm going to do every screenshot of anything that I ever do with that hood strangle. I'm going to be posting it to our community over here on the members on the WhatsApp group. And I'm also going to be posting that on X as well. So you guys will be able to follow that journey. What's going on, SJ? What's going on, Anthony? What's going on, Stong? BR Baller? Not today, brother. I don't have a lot of time today. Biden, man, I appreciate you, Biken. What's going on, Giorgio? What's going on, Not a Lurker? What's good, boss? All good, brother. All good. Lost a couple of pounds last week. I'm on track. I got my little tripod over there. Let me go get it for you. I'm looking like a YouTuber now. I got this tripod. I got this thing here where you push this little thing here and it like follows you like face recognition and stuff. So that'll be coming at you live. TJ the Wheel Deal coming at you live from the garage. I put my iPhone on there and I'm going to come live, members only. While I'm doing the workouts, I'm going to be doing live Q&A so that I can take my time and answer whatever questions you guys may have. What's going on, Manatee, et cetera, right? Marha, I'm telling you. I'm telling you. So anyway, that is the idea. Yeah. Cypher and Iron, man. Those, the only reason I never got into Iron is because they don't have a hodl. That's it. That's the only reason. Other than that, they were to hit 50 exahash. It's absolutely unbelievable what they're doing over there. Right on, Gabe. I have to manage those. Do you use KCP or charge to check the commissions are worth the money you're making? Since no will tracker, yeah. Well, I mean, just the fact that I can sell the other side, the commissions are kind of irrelevant because I'm picking up all these premiums that I'm not qualified to pick up on Robinhood. So it's kind of a no-brainer. If you're willing to sell the other side, like for short strangles, you can't do that on Robinhood. So it's irrelevant to me because I've already, collected another $1 million in premiums that I wouldn't even be qualified to pick up on Robinhood, and they're obviously not charging me $1 million in commission. So it's a no-brainer for me, for what I do, for what I choose to do. So anyway, what do you guys think? Appreciate you. What do you guys think? All right, everybody say close it. I know that's what Robin, that's what the option would say. So anyway, that's kind of what I'm leaning towards, guys. I do got to get rocking and rolling though. I am leaning towards closing the call, selling the shares, and then just staying with those miners via short puts. If there's a bit of a pullback, then I'd be happy scooping up the shares again, just kind of swing trading the share aspect of it, minimize the drawdown, because I know that's what option would say if he was on the channel. I'm still down on paper year to date on the big account, but it's actually not really true because it's factoring in some transfers that happened from Robinhood to Tasty Trade. But I want to even officially get it to where it's up even with all that stuff. So year to date on the account still showing negative 344,000, but that's just not really accurate, but that's what we're rocking with. So obviously the goal is to get it too positive. I think that'll happen here within the next 90 days or so, because I'm not doing anything like super reckless or anything like that. I just wanted to look at this one, but yeah, I'm definitely considering doing this and this simultaneously. So that's the one that I'm really considering doing. And that frees up, a little bit. So you get credits for the shares, which is awesome. I give back some of the premiums for the calls. And it is what it is. I could also do it one at a time. I could just close this one out here at a time and call it good. There's not a huge spread there. I could pay less, try to pay less there. So that's one way to do it there too. Oh, it looks like it closed, or no, only two of them closed. So that's something that I could consider doing. So actually I'm already trying to do it. So anyway, I got to get rocking and rolling though. I got to get ready for the calls, the FaceTimes, and I'll catch you guys on another live. I'll figure out how to go live for the members only with the tripod in the garage, and do that 3 or 4 times a week for the members only as well. So it's gonna be a lot of huffing and puffing. There's gonna be a lot of live Q&A. So come with the questions, guys. I'm gonna be in the garage. I'm spending a lot of time in the garage these days, trying to get in really good shape. So since I'm already going to be there anyway, might as well make the most of it. Got to run. TJ the Wheel Deal signing off. As always, my Sky State Blue Stock Screen. Peace out. God bless you.